Welcome to another episode of Wild Seas. Today we've gone extra wild. We're not even leaving the harbour. And Liam is trying to catch the world's smallest mullet. That's not actually the plan. The plan is to actually catch a decent mullet. Yeah, weather's too bad to get out, so we'll try and catch what we can in. Oh, he's got one! No way!
World's smallest
World's
mullet.
smallest mullet, there we go.
That's the first one for the day. We can only improve on it.
Well, they certainly don't get much smaller than that. Look at that.
Check that out.
It's a perfect specimen.
Oh.
Man, you couldn't have timed that any better as well.
Wee. Lovely little mullet. Let's pop him back.
1-0.
1-0. Wee. Result.
Yeah.
Come on, we'll attract some bigger ones. It's gonna.
He's down there.
Yeah. It's on that bait at the minute.
All of that 2 ounce. No. He's back, he's back.
Oh, you absolute.
Look at him chewing off my bait.
They're clever, aren't they? Just nipping it. Oh, he's back again.
Oh no, which one's got my hook?
2-0 to me. Another little mullet. The target fish.
Mate, this
Quite
ain't,
the size
don't
we
count,
want.
there ain't no competition.
If the small
Like-
ones are there, hopefully the bigger ones will turn up. Wow.
Oh,
that's
look, Liam,
quite
big one,
lovely.
big one. Yes, I got a big one.
Yes.
Yes.
Kieran's on.
Oh my God, I can't believe you said that at the same time.
Yes.
Yes. I say big, not monster, but it's definitely bigger than what Liam had. Yes, whoa. You can keep your micro mullet.
Yeah.
Daddy sits it out for a big one, you know how it is.
Come on, we're attracting
Oh, he's giving me a bit of beans, to be fair. Just come out of nowhere.
Yes.
Whoa, yes.
We'll get some chumming, try and keep stuff feeding.
So yeah, when you're mullet fishing, it's crucial that you have the drag set on the rod because they do pull back a little bit, and obviously you're only using light gear most of the time and small hooks. They have a tendency to shake the hooks. So yeah, you want some drag set to allow for those runs and those head shakes, and a nice soft rod as well. I'm just using a little Thai rubber rod. Plenty of action in it, nice and short, easy for when you're working it off of the boat. But yeah, if you haven't had much experience playing fish, I always say it's definitely beneficial to maybe go and do some coarse fishing or carp fishing before you go mulleting, just so you get a hand of how to like play a fish well on light tackle and with drag. Oh man, he's going well.
Claim up this way.
Oh, it's a bass, isn't it?
No.
No, it's a mullet, it's a mullet. Whoa! Stripping line.
Tease him up this way.
I'm trying. Hey, he's got beans, this mullet. See him going around. Hey, he's a bit bigger than your one, Liam.
Yeah. Oh, oh, oh.
Don't you spook my mullet. Hey, he's in the net.
Yes, in
Get
the net.
in. There we go. Thick-Lip Mullet. Beautiful.
Yeah.
No serious monster, but a couple pound. And that will do me lovely. Look at him, hooked right there, just in the top lip. I'll just unhook him there a minute. There we go. See that? That's all I'm using. Got size 10 specialist hook, similar to what you'd use in freshwater. It's a beautiful thick-lip mullet. Very common, to be honest, around estuaries, rivers, harbours, and even open coast. All the way around the coast, really, in the UK, you can find these fish in a lot of places. So yeah, when the weather's not so good to do much else, it's definitely a worthwhile target. to go after. They're great sporting fish. A lot of it is visual fishing as well. Really keeps you on your toes. But we're gonna release this one now and get him back. The best thing about mullet fishing is that you don't need a lot of gear to be able to go out and have a session. So here's typically what my tackle box would look like. I can't keep a straight face because I robbed my brother's tackle box. So I was having bleak scenes last night, and yeah, I could only find a pack of hooks and a swivel, but it's caught me a mullet. But no, typically this is what a mullet tackle box should look like. You don't need a lot of gear. Pretty much just comes down to having some floats. These are some of our favourite floats, the Dren and Loafer floats. They seem to sit well when you have a little bit of movement in the water. They don't drag under too easy, but yeah, you can shot them right, load them up right with the right amount of weight, and they're a great float for using when mulleting. You might also use some little controller floats as well. These can cast out a little bit better, typically when you don't need to sink a bait down so far. Maybe surface fishing with bread, we would use something like this, a controller float. Another handy thing to have is a little plummet in your box. Now these you would put through your hook it on, drop it down to the seabed, and you'll be able to adjust your depth because that will find where the seabed is. And yeah, you might want to fish like a foot off, half a foot off the bottom, or bait just on the bottom. But yeah, handy thing to have in. And some little ledger weights as well, should you need to fish down on the bottom if you've got too much wind and your float's moving around too much, or the fish are typically sitting quite deep. Some split shots, they're always handy to have. Make sure that you can lock your float maybe, or get the float cocked to the right sort of weight that you want it. Hooks wise, we'll go through a couple of hooks here. Some of my absolute favourites, the Dren Wide Gape Specialist. These are one of my favourite hooks. That's a size 8. They're quite a small size 8. They're more like a size 10 really. Yeah, somewhere between a size 10 and a size 6 is normally what people use for mullet fishing, certainly for thick lips anyway. Another favourite hook that people use is a Wide Gape Specialist Kamzan. But generally that sort of style, short shank, not too heavy gauge, so there's not too much weight in the bait. Is perfect for mullet fishing. And yeah, we'll carry a variety of sizes of them and styles should we need to change up a little bit. And then yeah, a little pack of small swivels as well is always handy. Lines wise, normally dependent on where you're fishing, how finicky your fish are, normally anything between like a 6 and 8 pound line. A 10 pound line, if it's a very thin 10 pound line, will suffice as well. But yeah, generally we like to use something between 6 and 8 pound. A very fine, supple, thin diameter line is good. Something like your Dren and Supplex. One of my favourite lines that we used to use a lot in match fishing is the Preston Innovations Power Line. This stuff is really nice. 017 here. I think this is £6.12 ounce, I want to say. Yeah, £6.12 ounce. Man, it's like hair thin. Beautiful stuff, very supple. The fish don't see it a lot, and that's great. You might want to carry some little light fluorocarbon as well. But yeah, that's all you need for a session really. So great, you can travel light, don't need a lot of kit, you don't need to spend a lot of money on the kit as well, and it should get you some fish on the hooks. So now I will walk you through how my float setup looks for this style of mulleting that we're doing today. Okay, so let's talk through some of the gear. So today I'm using quite a short LRF style rod, paired with a nice little small fixed spool. This one's like a 3000 size. I actually am running braid on this reel, but what I've done is put an 8 pound like shock leader effectively, because I like to have that little bit of give in the line when I'm mullet fishing. You can fish mono all the way through on your reel as well, no problems at all, like I have set up on this rod here. This is another style of rod that I would typically use when I'm mullet fishing. It's a barbel quiver tip style specialist rod, a little bit longer in length. I find that more handy, certainly when I'm fishing open coast or where I'll be fishing a little bit more distance. However, when I'm fishing like off the boat or off a pier, where typically we're fishing in very close, I actually find it a lot more handy having a shorter rod, particularly when you're trying to land fish in the landing net. Certainly if you're solo, you'll find a shorter rod a lot easier to swing the fish into the landing net rather than having a lot of line out with a longer rod, you know, trying to ease the fish into the landing net. So down on the end gear, very simple. I don't like to have too much tackle on the end of the rod, purely because mullet are very much a sight feeder and they have a tendency to be quite spooky fish. So what I've got coming down my main line here, first port of call you can see there is my stop knot. Now this is a stop knot. It will slide up and down the line, depending how deep I set it, determined by how deep I want to fish and where I think the fish are feeding. Sometimes if I'm not visually seeing so much up the top, certainly if the tide's higher, I might want to set my float deeper like we've done today, and we've managed to put out a few different fish deeper down. Whereas if I'm surface fishing, I'm going to pull this right up so that I can fish my bait up on the top. It's a versatile rig, means that I can target fish at different depths all at the same time. And then I've got my loafer float there, waggler float, my sliding weight there. You can use a sliding weight, or you can fix a float with split shot, or you can also load up the float with split shot along your line there. I quite like the sliding weight, it does the job for me. Little bead just to protect it against your knot, little swivel, little power swivel. Again, strength isn't the thing when it comes to mullet fishing. You don't need to go over guns, you're fishing very light and very finesse tackle. And then I've got my trace line here down to my size 10 hook. Now the trace line's an interesting one, certainly when you're fishing this style of rig where the weight is sliding and it's going to be taking down your bait. Now if I wanted to have a short fall and get my bait down there very quick, down to the fish, and just have a short fall in motion on the bait, I would typically go a lot shorter on my trace, maybe about a foot and a half. However, when the fish are being finicky and they're quite liking that natural fall in action of the bait, I'm going to go slightly longer. As a whole, I prefer to fish my baits slightly longer because then I accentuate that fall in action of the bait. It looks very natural as it's falling down. As we're browsing or chumming, or some people call it shervy as well, or ground bait, over the top of it, you're going to mimic that ground bait falling down through the water layers. So I quite like a longer trace. However, it does mean that your bait isn't as in contact with your float to register bites. So if I'm fishing deeper, I generally will go a little bit shorter, whereas if I'm fishing shallow and I can visually see the fish sucking in the bait and spitting it back out, I like to fish it longer. So today we are fishing inside the harbour, and these mullet inside the harbour, they're very used to commercial fishing vessels, chucking out fish frames, chucking out scraps of fish. So they're very used to feeding on fish themselves. So that's kind of what we're mimicking with our ground bait, is to attract the mullet to us, mimicking that of a commercial vessel washing out its fish or whatever, and the mullet are capitalising on that. So it's only really natural to fish a fish bait. You can fish bread as well for these thick-lip mullets. They will take crab, they will take worms as well, or really any scraps to be honest. But we find that fish flesh is definitely the best thing. So we've got some lovely fresh mackerel here. All we're going to do is we're literally going to take the flesh from the fillet, so there's no skin on the flesh. Generally we find if you have that shiny skin on, they're not so keen to take it. They like this little soft fleshy stuff, and all I want to do is create like a flake, something like that, that's going to really cover the hook but not be absolutely massive where we're going to be missing a lot of bites. So look, we can just take little fleshes off like that. What I'll do is I'll grab my hook and show you how to bait up. So I just thread it down through, something like that. Sometimes if the fish are really finicky, I actually bury the hook inside the bait. But if they're pretty on it, I like to keep the hook out and protruded just for a better hookup. You can see then I've done a little half hitch over the top of the bait and just pulled it tight through. That would just stop the bait from sliding down over the hook point. But something like that is absolutely perfect. I've actually got the float set quite shallow at the minute, just to really show off how this bait will go with a longer trace. So the weight sits there fine, and you see the bait just dropping away gently behind it.
Come on. If it's them little ones, you're going to struggle to hook them. Hopefully there's bigger ones down there. I'll trickle a bit more chumming. Keep them there. So yeah, real quick, short, quick bite.
You were fast on that.
I was fast on that and it didn't hook up. But he's a mullet.
It's bigger.
Oh no,
oh, it's a gilt.
Yes.
No way.
Yes. Check this out.
Turn up for the books. Well, there's always something to surprise you in fishing.
Well, there we go.
Didn't expect that little one, did we?
No, we didn't expect that.
Whoa, look at that. She's a beast.
Only small, but it's a gilt bream.
Check that little beauty out. Spirited.
Yeah, awesome little fish. He's munched that mackerel down. Yeah, a bit of chum's brought him in.
Yeah, it seems to be a fish that's frequenting more marks and more places more often nowadays, isn't it? We seem to see a lot more of them. But didn't expect to see one in here, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Check him out. Beast. Mini gilt bream.
Yes.
Yeah.
What have I got? It's a Mac. Mate, on the species.
Oh man,
Mate, got a Mac Daddy. Ooh. Straight in there.
On the max now.
Next species trip, boy. You on the Maccas. Mate, that was 2 seconds in the water, gone.
Oh, that's fresh flake though.
Yeah, that's good fresh bait. I'll tell you what, good bit of fun though. Well, not what I expected, but little Joey mackerel, good bit of fun. Shot the float under, banged him straight away. And he's going to provide some lovely fresh bait. Black goby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Black goby now.
Anything but a mullet.
Anything but a mullet, yeah.
What's that one called in that, Nick?
Gobius Niger.
Mate. What's it called, Liam?
Gobius Niger.
He wasn't actually sure about this. With Wikipedia it, Gobius Niger. It actually is called it as well.
Hang on. There we go.
That is actually mental.
What a nerd.
There we go. Let's pop him back. Whee. Yeah.
Hello.
Fish?
Summon.
Mullet.
Yes.
Mullet. Better mullet. Oh.
Yes, Liam. I'll get the chumming.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Oh.
Yes, Liam.
No, gone.
Oh no.
We bumped it.
No.
She won't hooked proper.
Top naughty behaviour here.
We'll get tinsels out of it. Oh, that's it. That's
There
it.
it goes. Actually. Oh, that's the fucking. I don't know how I missed that. That was such a. Oh, Liam.
Oh. Go on, take it properly.
Bosh. Yes, Liam. Yes. There she is.
Hooked better as well, I think.
Yes, Liam. Oh, there's a few of them then. Oh, that's a nice fish.
Oh. Oh. Oh, look, he's on the surface. Get him. Yes.
Got my front in.
No, not in a minute. Done nothing, has he? Might go get this quick. Oh, that didn't knock off the hook, I'll never know. Oh, that didn't knock it off the hook. Mate, you've done nothing. Yeah, he's a wallower, this one. Surface wallower. Steady now. Yes, Liam, in the net. On the mullet. Oh, shit. Nice. Yeah, not much of a fight, just wallowed about on the surface. Kieren almost knocked it off the hook. I tried my hardest. Nice thick-lip mullet. He's made us wait a little while, but we finally got some on the feed. I lost one earlier, and yeah, finally hooked up and got one in. So not much of a fight on this one, it just wallowed about on the surface. Usually they shoot off and go berserk, but no, this one was just a bit of a lazy fish. But yeah, nice. Target achieved. That's the end of today's session. We managed to make the most out of just having a few hours between us to get out fishing. We managed to pull out a few fish amongst it as well. I had a nice mullet, Liam had a nice mullet. He lost one as well. Won't remind him of that too much now, will we? And we managed a few little species as well. There was a mackerel in there, pollock, and a few little mullet as well. And the little gilthead bream, which was pretty cool, which we didn't expect. So yeah, all in all, pretty cool session, making the most out of a little time frame that we had with minimal kit, minimal bait, minimal effort in terms of that you don't need to walk far or drive far. Essentially, these mullet can be found in the most common of places, which is great. And they're great sporting fish and they go back well. I can't wait to get out mulleting again. I'm sure it's not going to be too long until we're back doing it again. Make sure to like, subscribe, and give us a comment and feedback about our videos to our channel, and I will see you again.